In this video, I want to discuss what to do after a cheat meal, a cheat day, or even a cheat weekend, God forbid. But the reason I'm bringing up this whole thing is because I myself had a cheat weekend. After a solid 3.5 months of literally nothing cheating, except for, a cheat meal about once every 2.5 weeks, I have been just dialed in onto getting lean before January 1st, 2026. But you know what? It was Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada, and I went to go see my family, and old habits came back for me. I returned to some pretty bad behaviors. I was, eating kind of anything that was in sight. My mom was cooking, I was seeing my whole family. We were all just being chill, lazy, not doing much, watching movies all day. And so I was snacking baked goods. And not even like the good stuff that my mom was making. My mom was making barbecue, she was making a roast, she was doing all these things. But I was eating all the snacky foods because my mom, like your mom or your grandma, wants you to be fat and wants you to be, happy, full, never hungry. And that was exactly the case this weekend. So I had just a plethora of snacks everywhere. And so I was nibbling all day. And I myself, because I know who I am, when I'm back home, it's just me and my girlfriend, and everything is under control. In my house, I know what's going to be there, what's not going to be there. And because I know my willpower is not that strong, really. My discipline is good, but that's because I have created an environment that has allowed me to do that. And so when I was back home with my parents and my family, I was doomed basically, because there was good foods, and my mom bought all these snacks that I like, and I'm like, oh, I can't say no to this shit. And then I couldn't say no to it. And then, my addictive mind took over. So this is what I learned from this weekend. The first thing is, I came back and the scale went up. No shit, 3 pounds I went up. Did I eat 9,000 calories extra over the last weekend to prompt me to gain 3 pounds of fat loss? Probably not. But I was eating a lot of shit food, chips and sodium-rich foods that were making me bloated, making me feel like I gained some weight. And I felt that way. When I was taking my pictures when I came back home, I felt a little bit chunkier than last time. And that sucks. But the first thing to do is just remember that it's on you. It's your fault. And it is my fault. I recognize that. I understand that it is my fault that I have pushed back my diet date or my diet end date goal. So if I want to get ripped by the first, I might have pushed it back a week because I just couldn't contain myself for 3 days. And that's something that should get you pissed off. And I think for me, that's what helps me get back on track. Getting pissed off of myself, but doing it in a smart and methodical way. And that leads me to the second point. And the second point is, don't overcompensate. When I came back from my Thanksgiving weekend, I decided that I'm gonna just get back on the program. I'm gonna eat my 2,200 calories, I'm gonna hit my protein goals, and I'm gonna go hit the gym the same times that I was going to do it. And that was it. I wasn't trying to just cut down by like 1,000 calories and just make myself starve because I had a shit weekend of eating extra calories and bad calories to add to that. So instead of just like tanking, going 1,000 calories every day for the rest of the week and just feeling like total shit, I'm just gonna go back to my normal, what my actual deficit was, okay? And that's something that you have to do. If you ever have a cheat day and you're gonna bounce back the next day, go back to your normal caloric deficit. Don't drop it an extra 500. Don't try and overcompensate your deficit from the day before. I cannot stress this enough. It just makes you hungrier, it makes you feel like shit. It ruins your sleep. It's just gonna make you more psychologically fucked up. And that's something that you need to really master when you're doing this fat loss journey. Dealing with your psyche, your mental health is critical and is the only thing that's gonna stop you from overeating, over binging, and becoming your old self. So that is key. So those are the first 2 points. The third point is, reflect on why this happened. And for me, it was simple. I went back home. My mom bought all the snacks that I liked. I was surrounded by family. We were watching movies. I was hanging out with my nephew and my niece, and we were just chilling. And it was just like snacky vibes. You're outside a little bit, you're doing this, you're hanging by the fire. It was all really nice. And I just felt like my old self. I literally became my old self because that's who I was when I was at home. I was chubbier. I was, lazier. I would eat kind of whatever's in sight. And that's what I did again. And that's why I know I have to distance myself from these people. Not to say that they're bad people. They're my family. I love them more than anything in this entire world. But I know I have to distance myself so that I can actually get, the goals that I want. yeah, right now I'm not worthy of like a cheat weekend, you know? Like once I'm ripped, yeah, sure, a cheat weekend won't affect me because I already have built my maintenance calories back up all the way. But that is not the case right now. The case is I'm still in my deficit, and any extra calories that are becoming a caloric deficit actually are way worse than if I was at my maintenance. So like look at it like this. So like if I'm eating 2,300 calories for like 3 months straight, my metabolism is allowing me to, hit this 1 pound of fat loss every week. Okay, that's great. That's what we want. But any extra amount of calorie is actually going to be amplified. Like if I ate 500 calories extra every single day, I think I'd gain more than an extra pound. It's because my metabolism is shittier. As you're doing caloric deficits, as you're doing cuts, your metabolism gets shittier because your body is trying to survive. Yes, you will still lose fat if you're keeping your protein intake high, but your body does not want to lose too much weight. And so that's why it stalls out after a while and you start to plateau and you have to decrease by more calories or by more exercise. This is a critical thing to remember. So if it felt like I gained 3 pounds, I probably didn't gain 3 pounds, but it felt that way, and I probably gained more than I would have if I was at a stable maintenance level where my metabolism was actually good. So reflect, why did I do that? Why did I do this thing? Why do I keep going back to the person that I was before? Am I not thinking enough? Do I not want it bad enough? Am I attached to my why? And your why is the reason that you actually get things done and you become the new thing, the new person, the 2.0, 2.5 version of yourself that becomes everything you want, that ripped body, that smart, intelligent person that works hard, is disciplined, cuts out all the junk, cuts out all the bullshit, and just gets things done. And so that's an incredibly important point, and realizing that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, it's kind of counterintuitive to my first points on be mad at yourself, be accountable, but it's also be compassionate for yourself. It's okay if you fuck up one day. It's not a big deal. You're not going to end up the rest of your life. And yes, maybe you're 1 day away from your 6-pack abs. Yeah, that might be it, but it might not be it. And it's also not the most important thing. Spending time with my family. Yes, I didn't have to binge as much as I did, but I would not trade that away. I wouldn't just be like, fuck it, cut out the fam. We gotta go beast mode, lock in, winter arc bullshit. No, you don't have to do that. You can spend time with your family. You can fuck up a little bit. You can eat more calories. You can get back on the plan, and you can always get back on the horse. And just remember that you can do that. Don't let this weekend ruin your last 3.5 months of progress, okay? That's what I'm just telling myself. It's not who I want to be. I don't want to be somebody that can't have total freedom every once in a while. No, you want to be sustainable, you want to be strong, you want to be fit, you want your metabolism to be flexible enough so that you can have those days. I was not ready at this point, and so my weight went up on the scale, and that is totally fine. Have compassion for yourself. Love yourself. Understand, shit's going to come up. Social stuff is going to happen. And that's some things that you're going to have to control as you reflect on this whole process. What can I do better next time? How can I show up the next day better? How can I get back on the program and just get back on the horse? And that's all you can do. You got this, okay? I know this can be a bitch, especially if you've been, dieting for a long time and you get upset with yourself because the scale goes up the next day. That's totally normal. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be accountable. Stick to the program. Do not overcompensate. Always remember to rep set, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.